Welcome back, friends. It's Melanie with Melanie Stamps, and today I have an exciting announcement of the Game Day collection by Justine over at Stationery by Justine. She is a close friend of mine and the designer of this entire collection. This is her first collection in collaboration with Spellbinders, and we are having a special YouTube hop today with some of our Spellbinder friends. So make sure to check the links down below and hop along with us. We are giving away a $25 gift certificate for the Spellbinders shop today. Thank you, Justine, for doing that, and Spellbinders for sponsoring us. We just ask that you like and subscribe to all of our channels today. So the list is down below. As I'm showing here, this is the jersey set, the athletic apparel. It is customizable to all three shirts, and I kind of spoke through showing that, but that is the highlight of this collection. These are the number dies. They each have a shadow, and they are perfect for not just the sporting equipment, but for invitations or anytime you need to put a date on something, a birthday number, so many different reasons. These are the all-star sentiments. They are wonderful to use in all these different card design ideas. They are two sizes here, and they play on each other, which is really fun. You can put them together. So I had a lot of fun. I added a couple of them together on my cards. Now, the sporting goods, I think, are my favorite set, and it's because you can make all of the different balls and tools that you have for your different sports. So I was very excited when I saw the bowling was included because we are avid bowlers, my husband especially. So when I saw that Justine had included that, I was ecstatic. So as you can see, each of these have a background shape to it for layering, and you have a whole bunch of different sports here, guys. So this is perfect for lots of masculine cards, but there's lots of ladies with sporting hobbies as well. So this collection is just perfect all around for all the sporting fans. This sports talk has a lot of different words in it, and that's the reason I got real close up there so you could see that. Now, guess what? We are making a bowling alley. So, a bowling lane. Now, this is actually wood grain paper with an adhesive back. Now, my nails did not work trying to peel back the adhesive back to show you, but it does actually have adhesive on the back of the paper. And it is actually wood grain. So I made us a little bowling alley, just like at the bowling alley. So I thought that was pretty cool. I used this Glimmer of the Month from July 22 and used these strip dies from that and cut out these wood strips. So from that, I took this one size and I kind of alternated them and butted them up together at different areas. Like, so the seams were all alternating in different areas to make it look like the actual lane. Then I took the glazing glue and I lacquered it to make it look like the oiled lanes. Now, I showed Randy, my husband, and he loved it. So I was really happy about that. So I'm using Fran's frame, the outer border for our slimline decoration for the outside of the bowling alley. And the black kind of gives the idea of the gutters on the edges is what I was going for. So we're going to glue down our lane here, and then we are going to get to decorating our card, which is the fun part. I am just in love with this card, as you can tell. I had so much fun designing this. And every time I showed Randy, he was like, yes, yes, yes. So he even picked out the bowling ball for it. He said he needed a swirl colored because the man has every color bowling ball imaginable. He loves the flashier, the better. So he has, I mean, all the high priced bowling balls you can think of. So he is definitely spoiled in that department, like I am spoiled in the crafty department. So, so I have heat embossed in gold team player for the top portion of the card. And these frames that I'm using here are the deckled rectangles, S4202. And this is an old packaging for them, but I think they're still on the website and they go with Fran's frames really, really well. If they are still available, I will link them. I think they're in newer packaging, but they are an older set. So I just pulled them from my stash because they looked really good with the deckled rectangle or Fran's frames. They go really well with them. So I covered up that top portion with that. And then I'm adding your In a League of Your Own at the bottom using that Fran's frame sentiment rectangle. And let me tell you, I use that rectangle all the time. That one and the inner one for sentiments. That whole Fran's frames is a perfect set for sentiments. Now look at my little bowling pins. Aren't they adorable? Now I have two more here we're going to make on camera so you can see how I made them. I've used an ivory cardstock and I've doubled up all of my pins so they're double strength. I like to do this, and I don't always show it on camera, but a lot of my cards are heavier weight because I like to have thicker cardstock. So I do double and even sometimes triple my cardstock. So I've doubled both of those, and then we're going to put these little tiny little red pieces here. And I'm using my reverse tweezers as a third pair of hands. And Justine has made it so there's little etchings with the help of Spellbinders. And so you know exactly where to put these little tiny pieces, which is the beauty of Spellbinders designs because they do this with most of their die sets. They always have little guiding markings on their dies so that we know exactly where to put things. Sometimes we don't even realize they're there, and then we have aha moments later when we see, oh, they told us where to put it. But if you look, they're there most of the time. So it makes for perfect placement every time, even these itty bitty pieces. So I am doing that with just a couple little dots of my Barely Art glue and just wiggling them into place ever so carefully. Just making sure they're straight. And we'll get this last one on. I'm trying to do it up close so you can see, but it is, I mean, this is the most tedious part of the whole project, but it really is not that difficult. The worst part is getting the glue on your fingers. I did have quite a bit of glue as I'm sitting there rubbing my fingers together. Now, these are the bowling balls that I had die cut out of some stained glass paper I had in my stash. And then I showed them to Mr. Randy and I let him pick the one we're using today. And then I cut the background from a piece of black cardstock, and then I put the top bowling ball piece on top, and we have a flashy bowling ball. So we're going to organize our bowling pins, arrange them so we're getting a strike, of course, and then we will glue these all on and our bowling lane will be complete. So I'm just kind of dropped them is right there in the center. I kind of just drop them to see how they would fall. And then I'm just kind of scattering them here and there. Then I will start gluing the back ones first. And then I will carefully, and I try to hold the center there a little bit so I can get those back ones in place first. And then I will slowly move to the top ones. And I found that was a little easier. I was trying to make it look scattered because I wanted those to look, I didn't want them to look uniformed, but I want them to look like that ball really is hitting it and that there's real movement and pow right there as that ball hits the pocket, as Randy would say. So I can't wait till he gets home tonight so he can see the actual finished card. He has seen it, all the steps of the making of it, and he knows what it's going to look like, but I do want to actually give him the finished card and let him see it. I know he's going to love it. And I've done bowling cards before, but never an actual bowling lane. So thank you, Justine, for designing bowling pins and the bowling ball in your sports themed collection, because this is a winner in my book. So I'm just all smiles because this has been so much fun to design. So we are just going to glue these last pins on. They're pretty easy once we get those back ones on there. Just kind of tossing and turning those pins back and forth. And then voila, we'll glue the last couple on. Once I know that ball's going to cover where I want it to. And I'll know that I'm happy with it. Easy peasy. There we go. I put lots of glue on that. And we have a finished bowling lane. Team player, you're in a league of your own. Awesome. Okay, let's clean up from this one and we will switch over to card number 2. We are making a shaped card using the jersey die, but we're not going to use the sleeves. We're just going to make a basketball jersey. So it's sleeveless, and I'm just using that outside die to make a shaped card base. Now this is kind of a mini note card size. And I'm going to use the envelope of Wonder and use the envelope from that, which is the perfect size, to fit this shaped card. So this is a textured cardstock I've got here. And when I stamped the word champ on it, it doesn't stamp completely clear because of the texture, which is what I was actually going for, because jersey material on basketball jerseys are, there it shows, there it is showing the card going into the envelope. Perfect fit. But the jersey material, you know, has those little holes in it. And so when that did not stamp completely solid, I left it alone because it makes it look like the finished jersey. You know, the jersey that has the little holes in it. So I liked the way it looked because of that. And I did stamp it twice with my Misty, just so it had full coverage on the raised areas of the textured paper. But I left it like that rather than going with a solid piece of paper. I left it textured because I liked the look of it. It made me think of jersey. So anyways, I am doubling up all of my pieces here, which is what I'm doing. I'm adding 2 pieces to each one. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the numbers and the basketball. And then we'll glue all those down and our jersey will be complete. So for this card, the colors I have chosen happen to be Randy's favorite college football team, or basketball team. Well, football team too. But Randy is really big into Georgia Tech. So I went with navy and gold with the yellow. So those are Georgia Tech's colors. And that's how I chose the colors for this card. So he will see this one also when he gets home from work this morning. And as you guys might know, or most of you that watch me regularly know, I craft all night long while my husband is at work all night long. So he gets home around 6 a.m. in the morning, and it's 5:30 in the morning right now. So as soon as this video is over, I will be welcoming him home, and I will get to show him these cards as I finished this just earlier tonight. So I'm excited about that. He'll get to see his finished cards, and that will complete my evening of crafting. So we'll get these numbers on here, and he is my number one champ, which is why I chose the 01 for the numbers. So there's our card. Now we just have to glue the pieces on their proper placements, and this jersey is done. Now for the bottom of the envelope, I took 5 basketballs and glued those. Now those are singles because I didn't want to weigh the envelope down any more than I had to. So those are single orange pieces of cardstock instead of doubled. And I just did the back 3 basketballs first and then put the top 2 basketballs on there. Glued them all really securely, and then I used my large Spellbinders shears, which if you guys haven't splurged and gotten those large shears from Spellbinders, treat yourself, ladies. Those shears are magic. They are the best scissors I've ever had. So I used those. I just turned the envelope over. I trimmed off, and it just cuts through the multiple layers like butter. So it's just, they're amazing, and they're Teflon, so they don't stick to anything, and they just cut through your multiple layers. So I did that for the basketball trim there on the envelope, which really looks cute once we've got the card up against it. You'll see here momentarily when we get this done. And I will show you the completed project with the card and the coordinating envelope. So speaking of Randy, he must have gotten off work because he is calling me as we speak, but I'm not going to answer it because we have got 2 more minutes together. So we are going to finish this video up real quick so we can have our time together, and then I will call him back. So we're going to attach this basketball here to his hip, and I'll show you it with its envelope. See, it fits perfectly in the envelope of wonder. And then look at there. Is that not adorable? I just think that's the cutest thing ever. So you got your bowling card. You've got your number one champ. Then I've made a golf card, and I've used the embossing folder in the back there, and I've added the golf club. Then the golf ball has this really neat debossed shadow in it, and then I've put the sentiment on the inside of that one. And then I just love this. I used a piece of pattern paper that I had that was scrapbook paper, and then I made the bat with that same wood paper, and these are all the field sports. So I used that for that card. So those are my 4 cards using Justine's collection, and I'd love to know which one is your favorite. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Until next time, bye-bye.